Sweden and Finland, both historically neutral countries, say they're now speeding up deliberations on joining NATO, despite warnings from Moscow. Their leaders met in Stockholm today to discuss applying for NATO membership. Both countries are expected to act together on the issue. Finnish Prime Minister Sanna Marin said the decision will be made in weeks.
The European security architecture have changed fundamentally after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The change in the security landscape makes it necessary to analyze how we best secure peace for Finland and in our region in the future. I won't give any kind of timetable when we will make our decisions, but I think it will happen quite fast, within weeks, not within months.
Well, Sweden and Finland are two countries that are non-formally aligned militarily, but they do have very advanced armies. So their application for NATO membership is something that is very welcomed by the other 30 NATO countries. It's something that's been in the pipeline for several weeks now. But both countries say it's in direct response to the Russian aggression in Ukraine. The Swedish Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson saying that essentially there's a new normal with regard to European security now, and they both have to respond, particularly Finland, of course, which has a direct border with Russia. But I caught up with Professor Michael Kimmage and I asked him about the impact of these two countries joining NATO for European security.
The bad thing is that the border that NATO is obligated to defend is quite a bit larger, and the border directly with Russia is a lot larger. And so that's going to be a new strategic situation for NATO, and they're going to have to respond with new ideas and a new sense of how they function in Europe and how they function vis-a-vis Russia. But of course, Sweden and Finland are affluent countries with formidable militaries, and they bring a lot to NATO. They don't just bring new responsibilities to the alliance, they bring new capacities, new capabilities to the alliance. So NATO has just overnight, if all of this comes to pass, which I think it will, NATO has just overnight become a lot stronger.
That was Professor Michael Kimmage from the German Marshall Fund on that decision today from Sweden and Finland to push forward with NATO membership. We should also point out that, of course, Russia has warned against those two countries joining NATO. And so even though there's a point to be made about strengthening European security at a time of war, there's obviously concerns about any implications or direct targeting from Russia to those countries, particularly in the cyber field.
Well, the Kremlin has warned, indeed, Finland and Sweden against joining NATO. President Putin's spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that if it happens, it will not bring stability to the European continent. He said that Russia believed that NATO is a tool which was sharpened for confrontation and not for bringing peace and stability. And he had also said earlier that if Sweden and Finland join NATO, Russia would have to rebalance the situation with its own measures. And Russia's foreign ministry spokeswoman also warned that there would be military and political consequences in case the two countries joined the bloc. Now, I've asked what does this really mean in reality. I've asked this question to Andrei Kortunov. He is the head of Russian International Affairs Council, close to the Kremlin think tank. So he said that if this happens, if Sweden and especially Finland join NATO, Russia would consider this as a significant change of the geostatic situation in the north of Europe. And he said that Russia will have to strengthen this area by deploying new military infrastructure along the Finnish border.